Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Mike,
I'm Duran.
and this is Before We Forget the podcast of Duran. Before we forget, we've talked about Pop the Balloon before on here, and I think almost everybody we know have seen the Ninja Turtle and his comeback and responses. But lately, I've been seeing a lot more men go on this show and like full on argue with these women, right? And or at least in this show, they ask the woman like, why don't you feel like he's your type? And they just kind of get disrespectful and say whatever. And if the man says something back, then they automatically start saying he's sassy or he's feminine, right? So why is it that whenever a man stands up for himself against a female, is considered sassy or feminine?
And first and foremost, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If I give you some standards by which I choose to live by or I feel like is respectful to me, then you can't tell me I'm being sassy. It's rules to life and things that I can say yes and no to. I don't have to accept any old condition. First and foremost, I think that the respect for men is going out the window.
That's
You talking to a grown man. I don't care if you know me or you don't know me. When you come talk to me with some respect.
I think respect goes both ways though, right?
It does, but we're talking about men right now.
True. But hold on. I think respect goes both ways. I think the issue here is that they show men so little respect, and if men come back as disrespectful as what they've received, then it's considered, oh, now you being sassy.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, I do feel like old boy was being sassy, but I feel like they've applied this logic to so many men. Like if you say something like, she could come in and be like, I just looking at you, I feel like you dusty. I feel like you broke. I feel like you ain't got no money. I feel like, you don't be getting girls. I feel da da da. And so now it's either, hey, I take this and I look soft, or I get disrespected and that's that, or I respond. And any response you got, you could be like, hey, if that's what you think, then whatever. Then they're gonna be like, oh, he's sassy. Why he arguing with a girl? Why he responding? And it's just like, hold on. Y'all gotta remember that some women are putting themselves in a masculine position. And so if we out in nature, right? We got a pride of lions, and the lioness comes up and tries to fight a male lion, he will attack her ass. He's not going to sit there and just be like, oh, I'm not going to fight you or else they're going to think I'm a pussy. And I purposely said that word because they're cats, right? But like here, when we talk about us, women can place themselves in masculine positions and we're supposed to accept it. And I'm not saying get physical. I'm not saying curse her out. I'm not saying any of that. But we're not even allowed to
be a man. That's what you're saying.
We're not allowed to stand up for ourselves, even in a verbal confrontation with a female, without looking sassy or being called sassy or feminine.
I'm going to tell you one thing. You come to me with that 2024 sassy behavior talk, you're going to be sorely disappointed. You can look at it like complaining all you want to. I'm firm and I speak and say what I need to say with my chest. I put my foot down. That's part of being a man. When I say something, that is what it is. It's the end all be all. It's still going to forever be a country that's ran by a man. It's for everything we do is going to forever be ran by a man. It's just how it is. You don't go and switch it and be like, well, just because. That's like trying to live in a gray area. And one thing I don't do is live in gray spaces. I don't live in uncertainty. I live in definitive answers and things that's going to get us places. And that's not that's not a closed way of looking at things. My mind is open to receive different things. So I understand, where that's coming from, but that's also a toxic trait to me because you can't go out and just call a man sassy because he told you he don't want to accept your mediocrity.
I think there's a lot of toxicity in women right now, right?
Like you're not finna come tell me something when you the one dressed scantily and you trying to tell me because I told you I don't want none of that. Now you mad, you hurt, so you like, oh, you sassy, you don't like what I got on, or you ain't gonna let me sit at your house while you go to work, and you not gonna buy me Balenciaga, you not gonna take me out to Fashion Nova. No, I'm not gonna do that.
I think it all starts with the mindset, right? And I'm not saying every man deserves respect. I'm saying every human deserves respect,
Everybody do, but in this
right?
case specifically, I'm gonna say it again. We are talking about men. There
But
should be no lack of respect for a man. That's the problem in the household. That's the problem everywhere we go. They not respecting men, and then they throw all these clauses behind it. So I ain't trying to cut you off. I
no,
just
you
want you to
good.
understand where I'm coming from. So let's take it back a few notches before we even got to the sassy. Before it was, oh, he a deadbeat, man ain't nothing, ain't no good men left, and they ain't taking care of business. Oh, they daddy wasn't there, so they don't know. And then now we to the, oh, he sassy, and why he got all this, and oh, he ain't got nothing in his house. He don't, he not ready for this. He can't handle me. It goes back to that picture that became a real big conversation online where it was just TV, a little bed, a game system, and just like a nice little view on a little apartment. It was like this is all a man need to live. And women was blowing that post up. I mean, it was like over a
Blowing it
million
up.
com like, why you want to live like that? Where his furniture? Why he ain't getting money, he ain't but we don't need that much to live because we content and we just
We
chill.
simple.
I got food to eat, a roof over my head. I can see the beach, just look nice. Can go outside when I want to. I got the game. It ain't just about the game. I can watch TV. I got a TV and I got a refrigerator, obviously. So I couldn't be doing too bad. I got a job because you ain't gonna be living on the top floor somewhere looking overview to the ocean. So you gotta have some type of money. It ain't about all the extra stuff. And if I'm just living for me, I don't need the space to be comfortable for you.
I mean, you true.
Like I don't need couches and decorative stuff because that's sassy. If you go over a man house and he over accessorize his house, you should just get out of there because that's
Well,
a
you
little
probably should be asking what woman decorated this
right.
house.
Like no, because we just go and do stuff that don't match. I have a purple couch, a green floor, and something else, and be like, yo, this fire, but it's really
Like, did your
ugly.
mama help you with this? Nah, it was all me.
Mm.
Mm.
Ain't nothing out of place. Ain't no socks on the floor. Everything folded up. This look a little sus to me, buddy.
Were you in the military? Nah,
Nah.
nah, not at all.
Like,
Some,
you,
one
or
plus
or
two
you
ain't
just
adding up to seven right now.
like yeah, that right there you can call that out. But when you just talking about men in general, we need to bring that back. I'm not saying that women need to be slaves to a man or nothing like that. I'm just saying there's no respect for men, and then people
And
will say yes, it is.
and we
I
directly focusing on men here, right? And I feel like women don't want to show respect unless you can buy them A, B, C, and D, right? And then they use the thing of you ain't no real man if you ain't no real man if you ain't got. My grandfather raised
right.
20 grandchildren, maybe another 20 great grandchildren, right? So and he worked at a school district as a janitor for most of his life. So you gonna tell me this man wasn't a real man? That man's an epitome of a real man.
He is, but also you got to learn from the past mistakes. Now, it's not a mistake that he did that, but we ain't in an age where you got to work one job and we under the thumb of somebody else. This is a time when we able to thrive the most and get places and be in places of position and power and be in places to be prominent, to teach young men, to teach young ladies, to do whatever we want to do, and we choose to stay under the oppressive like thumb where we want to be in that bottom tier. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't never climb the ladder, you ain't gonna never reach the top.
True.
You just looking at other people get there, and then you get mad, and we like crabs in a barrel. We grab onto somebody and pull them back down. So that's why the respect level don't rise up for men because they keep that expectancy back here. It's like the wages. What the minimum wage is ridiculously low when today's economy you can't survive with that. So it should be rising with the economy, you would think, but it doesn't. So it's the same way with respect. The respect is on the bottom tier and it's not going up the tiers that it needs to go up because again, a woman will say, "Oh, well, you got all this and got all that, and you don't want to do this for me." No, I don't, because it's like I got something going for me, and you want me to jeopardize it for you, but you're not doing nothing. Now, how it used to go is two people come together, and then the woman and you make me be better and become that man and a better man for you. And then likewise, you see something in me or you trust in me to accomplish your dreams and goals, and you get that strength and reassurance and you move up. That's how we move up the tiers.
It was a support.
But if you don't do
Respect and
that,
support.
then it backfires. You can't have one side going up if you got the scales adjusted. You don't one side go up, the other side gonna go down. The other side can never come up if the weight don't come off this side.
Right.
So I'm like, how's that supposed to work? You can't tell me I'm being sassy because I told you I don't want to accept a lower tier of what I'm expected or my dues. If I worked hard to be here, so I'm not gonna let you disrespect me by calling me sassy. Now again, we just talking about the Pop the Balloon show, but I'm just giving the back history.
See, but when you
story.
talk about the back history, that made something else stand out to me. Like you talked about how the standards for what men are have changed. And I think about that because if you think back when we was younger, it was, oh, you ain't no real man if you ain't got a car, a job, and a place, and all of this. And then towards the 2000s, it's like, oh, like you ain't no real man if you can't buy me this and this and this. And now, even now, it's even more so worse. Like if you can't take me to get this $10,000 purse and get me some red bottoms and all of this, like you ain't no real man.
We went from it ain't tricking if you got it to blow your entire salary on me. And for what?
You have to trick.
We jumped in the pay to play, but then you don't want to acknowledge we in a pay to play state. Like if someone's gonna pay to play or have the relations with you or be on that level, they're gonna get somebody that's way above your level. Meaning you can buy what you want.
My thing with it is if you have those high standards, that's one thing. But how can you disrespect somebody who doesn't want to come to those standards? Like if you want to get into a club, right? And they say, "Oh, yo, you got to wear this, this, and this, and this," and you don't want to wear it, so you leave. How would you feel if somebody's like, "Hey, man, she ain't nothing. She won't wear a dress. She won't put these heels on. She won't do all of this." Like, I feel like the expectations are different because if men start saying, "I expect you to stay home and take care of the babies and cook and clean and have all this done before I get home from work," and if it ain't done, then it's a problem, then women are like, "Oh, no, this is da-da-da-da-da," right?
Yeah.
And if a man start going, "Oh, no, you too masculine for me because you ain't going to do all of this," then it's going to be a problem. But to sit here and say, "Oh, you're too feminine because you're not blowing a rack on them or because you're defending yourself when they put themselves in a masculine position," is ridiculous to me.
And that's crazy that you say that. That's a whole nother subject of them trying to say, "Well, I'm not a modern housewife. I'm not this and that." But that's what you want. You're asking me to accept. You're engaging that contract is that if I'm going to go break my back and do all this, it comes with expectancies from you. So what are you doing to make me do all this?
They want a modern husband, but they also want a classic husband, right? They want a man who pays all the bills and do everything, but they don't want to do what the classic woman does.
No, they want the sugar baby benefits without giving nobody no sugar, and not in
that's
sugar
where
baby status.
That's where the modernness comes in. They want all their bills paid. They want all of this done that wives used to get back in the day, but they don't want to take care of the kids. They don't want to clean the kitchen. They don't want to do all the stuff that wives used to do, right? But then they want you to give them the freedom of a modern woman, and the two just don't mix. They don't. But y'all let us know what y'all think because we got real deep today. Pause. So like, comment, subscribe, blow up the Facebook. Let us know what y'all think, and we're going to catch y'all on the next episode.
Part 2.